If you set the thermostat to 6 to 8 degrees in your boardroom and a heat wave hits outside, the system doesn't celebrate. It turns on the compressors and forces the temperature right back down. Your subconscious mind has the exact same mechanism. If your internal thermostat is hardwired for struggle, the moment your business experiences massive growth, your nervous system flags that scale as unsafe. It's a threat and forcibly drags you back down. Your company cannot outgrow your nervous system. Stop changing marketing funnels and let's fix your hardware. Stream episode 124 and book your subconscious audit today at bespokehumanpotentialcoaching.com. Be legit. If you walked over to the thermostat in an executive boardroom and set the thermostat to 6 to 8 degrees, you have established a homeostatic baseline for that environment. If a summer heat wave hits outside and forces the temperature up to 90 degrees, the system doesn't celebrate the growth. It doesn't look out and say, my God, out the window and say, hey, wow, look how much abundance we have today. Nope. It doesn't do that. The internal sensors flag the change as a deviation from the norm, kick on the cooling compressors, and forcibly manage the environment right back down to 6 to 8 degrees. As a high-level leader, a founder or CEO, your subconscious mind has the exact same mechanism. It has a biological phenomenon called homeostasis, the body involuntary system to maintain an absolute state of internal equilibrium, regardless of changing external conditions. But there's a problem. If your internal subconscious thermostat is forged in an identity of struggle, reactionary pressure, or a specific revenue ceiling, the moment your business experiences a massive spike in growth, your brainstem doesn't celebrate. It flags that unfamiliar scale as an unsafe threat to your equilibrium. It turns your psychological compressors and activate your hidden handbrake and forcefully manage your business back down to the level of chaos you are biologically comfortably holding. You aren't hitting a revenue plateau because your marketing funnel is broken. You are hitting it because your nervous system is treating your level of scale like a life-threatening predator. Welcome back to the Legit Mindset Podcast. We are at episode 124, which means we are skipping the superficial mindset trends. Today, we're performing a deep surgical dissection on why your biology is sabotaging your business and exactly how to adjust the internal setting for the immeasurably more, that universal capacity that I've been talking about. Let's get to work. Understand why elite, high-achieving leaders would subconsciously pull their own business backwards. We have to look directly at clinical biology. In the mid-20th century, a pioneer French physician, his name was Dr. Walter Cannon, coined the term homeostasis. Now, homeostasis, he described it how the human body regulates its internal environment to ensure survival. What's interesting is that decades later, the legendary Stanford neurobiologist Dr. Robert Sapolsky advanced this research proving that psychological stress triggers the exact same homeostatic mechanism as a physical threat. What does that mean to you? What it means is when an organism encounters condition that deviates too far From its baseline, the nervous system deploys an automatic unconscious behavior to force a return to the familiar. Think about it. When you apply this to executive performance, it changes everything. Look at this. If you grew up watching your parents grind just to survive, or you are early in your business victories where you achieve through grueling 80 hours work weeks fueled by adrenaline and fear, guess what? Your nervous system is hardwired a dangerous baseline. I remember myself, you remember I said that success is hard and difficult. That was my baseline. And friction, so for you, it could be frictions equals security, or pressure equals success. When you finally cross into that significant framework of leading with lightness, your business actually begins to run smoothly. When the team is executing and the revenues is compounding, operational noise drops to a quiet hum. Your subconscious hard drive experiences a system error. The homeostatic sensors look around and say, wait a minute, there's no friction. There's no fire to put out. This is unfamiliar. Therefore, it must be unsafe. Like a heat-seeking missile, your brainstem immediately triggers automated, unconscious behavior to drag you back down into the familiar furnace of stress. This is homeostatic sabotage loop. You get hot, you get too hot, it automatically cools you down. Everything is too calm, it's going too well. For your body, it feels like it's unsafe. It feels like something is wrong because it wants to pull you back to what is familiar. Look at your calendar, look at your bank accounts and your executive team right now. If your thermostat is locked down, your nervous system will express its sabotage in 3 distinct, highly predictable patterns. Let's take a look at them. Red flag number 1, the manufacturing of fractional friction. When everything is operating beautifully, the homeostatic baseline demands a crisis to fulfill its need for familiar stress. This not only happens in business, this happens in relationships. As soon as everything goes well, you pick a fight with your partner to make you feel comfortable. So as a leader, you suddenly find yourself picking a fight with an A-player vendor over an insignificant detail. Has that ever happened to you? Or you will slide back into micromanagement, attacking a project team who had completely had everything under control. You are actively manufacturing friction because the quiet space of ease feels like an emergency to an unsanitized core. Red flag number 2, the synaptic pruning of scale. Neuroscientists tracking brain plasticity look closely at the synaptic pruning. That's the biological process where the brain actively deletes neural pathways that are not routinely reinforced. Meaning if you don't use them, you lose them. Matter of fact, okay? So while reinforcing these pathways that are used daily, so if your dominant neural highway for the last 10 years have been paved with reactionary pressure, that's what your brain is used to. Your brain literally structuralizes its tissue to optimize for crisis. That's what it's used to. When a scaling opportunity lands on your desk that requires pure intent instead of brute force, your brain, it can process it. The strategic plays, the joint ventures, and the high leverage relationships are literally deleted by your own mind because you lack the neurological infrastructure to even see them. Your hardware just drops the play because it doesn't match the software. Wow. Red flag number 3 is the allostatic load breakdown. In neuroendocrinology, researchers study allostatic load. This is the accumulative wear and tear of the body's tissues and biological systems due to chronic overactivation of the stress response. When you force a high allostatic load into a growing company, your body eventually breaks. You hit a financial ceiling. You experience a physical burnout, or you experience a sudden professional betrayal. This is interesting. These aren't random strokes of bad luck. They are your biology physically demanding a retreat to a smaller, more manageable environment because your nervous system cannot safely hold the electric voltage of your next high level. Your vessel is simply too small for expansion. Now, a word from my sponsor. If you review your data over the past 3 to 5 years and find that you have hit the exact same revenue ceiling down to the dollar, or you keep hiring and firing the exact same archetype of person or people, stop changing your operational strategies. Your business cannot outgrow your nervous system. Your thermostat is locked. The subconscious audit is a targeted 15 to 30-minute diagnostic protocol built exclusively for multi-7, 6, 7, and 8-figure founders. We skip the traditional talk rabbit hole and look directly at the hardware. We locate the precise homeostatic set point that's turning your internal cooling compressors and forcing your expansion backward. Stop fighting your biology with willpower. Go to bespokehumanpotentialcoaching.com today, right now, and book your diagnostic audit. Let's fix the machine. Back to the show. So how do we fix it? How do we change the setting on a biological thermostat that has been locked in place for decades? First, you cannot do it through conscious logic and arguments. That's why a lot of just regular coaching sessions don't work. You cannot read a book on leadership and expect your amygdala to change its definition of survival. No, you need a subconscious subtraction. What we do through mental and emotional release and through our one-day mindset reset, we enter the subconscious hard drive and uncouple the history of your emotional baggage of the past betrayals, the survival scripts, and the failures. We perform a rapid neural surgery, per se, to show your higher mind that safety doesn't require stress, and success does not require suffering. We manually adjust the thermostat's digital settings from 68 degrees to 200 degrees. Once that data wipe is completed, we condition the new baseline using a bespoke daily mental supplement. This is how we utilize Hebrium's learning to build this thick myelin sheaths around the new pathways of expansion. Those bespoke daily mental supplements is a powerful way that we utilize all of your learnings that you garnered through the session to now reinforce, because it's your learnings. It's not what I say, is what you said. That means that now your brain is even more open to the suggestions of change. With this new thick myelin sheaths around your new pathways of expansion, you can lead with lightness, space, and massive scale feels completely safe to your biology. When your core is sanitized, you no longer push, strain, or grind to hold your next level. Your vessel naturally expands, allowing you to hold what I call immeasurably more, using the universal capacity principle effortlessly. Stop managing your legacy back down to match your past. Recalibrate your thermostat. Expand your internal capacity and let your machine run. Episode 124 shifted something inside of you today. Take ownership of that insight. Subscribe and leave a direct review on the platform. Send this track to an executive or a founder or someone who is currently burning down their own house just to feel warm. Let's help them change their setting. This is the Legit Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Curtis McCullom. Be legit.